Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video, a bit of a chat about what's been happening in Spain over the last week or so. Spain and Portugal, because I've got some Portugal news as well while I go for a walk with my dog Mia. So let's go. Now I'll get the weather out of the way, and as you can see, typical for this part of Portugal in the mornings, quite foggy, windy today also. As you can notice down there, it is low tide too, so not looking good as far as weather is concerned today, but it's cool, and cool weather, at least for me, is the main advantage of this part of the world, so that's a pro in my opinion. And the first thing I want to talk about today is weather, some of the extreme heat conditions that parts of Spain and Portugal have been suffering over the last few days. The third heat wave of the summer, and I read in the paper yesterday or the day before that in the Valencian community it got up to 47 degrees Celsius. I had to look twice at that piece of news. I couldn't believe the temperatures that I were reading. And also in Valencia city, the capital city of the Valencian community, I think it got close to 44 degrees Celsius, so very hot there. And of course, as you can imagine, international press asking the question again, is it too hot to travel to places like Spain in the month of August? And I'm going to be honest, if it's 44 degrees in a place like Valencia and I happen to be there, I don't reckon I'm going to be comfortable with that temperature. So if anybody watching the video today is in the Valencian community or was in the Valencian community with those extreme temperatures, let me know how it was. It was hot in Madrid. It was also hot here in Portugal. Inland Portugal, I went 20 kilometers inland the other day and it was around 38, 39 degrees Celsius. Here on the coast, no, it didn't get above 23, 24. So as I said, a lot cooler here, and that's the main advantage of this part of Portugal for me. But inland Portugal can get quite hot too. And with these hot conditions and windy conditions, we unfortunately get forest fires or wildfires, and that has been a problem here in Portugal over the last week or so as well. A very serious wildfire flared up in the south of Portugal, down there in the Algarve region. There was another one about 80 or 90 kilometers north of where I am. And yesterday, apparently, another fire flared up in the northwest of Portugal, close to the border with Zamora. So fires out of control here in Portugal currently. And when it comes to forest fires in this country, it's not really if there's going to be forest fires over the summer months, it's when those forest fires are going to happen and where they're going to happen also. Those are the two most important things. Now, another piece of news that has caught my attention this week, unfortunately caught my attention, is the anti-tourism sentiment that is again popping up in some of the most popular hotspots in Spain when it comes to tourism, most notably the Balearic Islands. And apparently a radical left-wing anti-capitalist group have decided to stick up posters around the Balearic Islands or at some of the most popular beaches there, saying that it's not safe to swim. These signs are in English. They're saying things like there are rip currents, that it's dangerous to get into the water, also that the waters are full of jellyfish, and as I said, the sign's in English. And then down below, on the bottom of the sign, in Catalan, it says, don't worry, this is just for tourists. This beach is perfectly safe to swim at. So they're trying to get foreign tourists off the beaches by putting up these fake signs. Amazing, right? Now, the name of this anti-capitalist group or anti-tourism group is Caterva. I've got it written down here. Apparently, they're based in the area of Manacor in Mallorca, the Balearic island of Mallorca. And as I said, they're out and about putting up signs like this one here, where it says beach closed. And as I said, down the bottom of that sign, it says in Catalan that the beach isn't closed. Feel free to swim, if you understand that language, of course. So if you're in the Balearic Islands, Mallorca specifically, and you see one of these signs up at the local beach, at the local cove, it's fake, and you are indeed able to swim. So don't worry about it. That, of course, is if you see one of these signs here and not an official sign. So keep an eye out for the difference. But again, unfortunately, these anti-capitalist, anti-tourism groups are rearing their ugly heads in places like the Balearic Islands. So, bit of a shame, also. And the final thing I want to talk about today relates to inflation, and some interesting figures have been published. Stay tuned. Now, I've got the information here on my phone of some of the CPI figures that have been released recently. So, for example, over the last month or so, national tourism up 24.3%, other accommodations 10.6%, fresh fruit 8.8%, liquid fuel 6.5%, and international tourism up 6%. Prices, that is. So far this year, national tourism has increased 49.8%, hotels 29.9%, other accommodations 21.9% too, olive oil 15.8%, a huge increase there, and gasoline or fuel 15.5%. So those are some of the things that have gone up since the year began, and by those amounts. And over the last year, sugar is up 44.2% on yearly prices, olive oil 38.8% increase on last year's prices, potatoes 22.9%, rice 22%, and tinned fruit 19.4%. So those are some of the huge increases. Now, somebody the other day said that they went to their local supermarket and olive oil now has a security tag on it. That didn't happen before, because when you paid €4 for a litre of olive oil, you didn't need a security tag. But of course now, with olive oil sitting around 8, 9, 10 euros a litre, security tags have gone on the bottles, because obviously people are stealing olive oil. And fuel, one of the other big ones here, 15.5% increase since the beginning of the year, and over the last couple of months, heading towards the summer, prices have really gone through the roof. So we are getting smashed at the fuel pumps currently in Spain. Bad news for motorists. And food prices are one of the big differences that I'm noticing here in Portugal this year compared to Spain. For example, here in Portugal, some of the basic food products have had VAT slashed, 0%. That didn't happen in Spain. So when you go and buy things like milk, some other dairy products, fruit and veg, those are at 0%. And I'm noticing a big difference in prices between Spain and Portugal. And also when it comes to olive oil, here in Portugal, it seems to be cheaper too. So the Portuguese government, more serious than the Spanish government when it comes to lowering prices and getting rid of VAT on basic foodstuffs. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have an opinion about anything that I have spoken about today, the comment section is the section for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego, from a cloudy and windy Portugal.